Hey all, it's Zoe, and in today's video I want to point out some real important issues within the trans community. And basically I want to talk about the harsh reality of being transgender. So I feel like in the media lately, especially here on YouTube, being transgender, what people view it as is some type of glamorous lifestyle. Basically, once you have transitioned into this man or woman you were meant to be, life is glamorous and it's so happy once you get to this point, and getting there is no problem. Unfortunately, that is not always the case, and some trans people have to suffer a lot more than others. So I basically wanted to make this video to discuss the real issues of being transgender and just discuss the struggle we have to go through every day. It takes a lot of bravery to be transgender and to go through your transition. So let's jump into some of the key topics and issues of being trans. Gender identity. I can't make anyone understand what it's like to wake up in the wrong body. For someone who is not transgender, you will not ever understand this. So I can only explain it to some extent for you to sympathize with us. But waking up to a body that does not match your mind is very difficult. I mean, that is not even a word to begin to describe the depression and the self-doubt a trans person has to go through every day when they wake up and they realize they are not in the right body. Along with gender identity, there is a high suicide rate because not a lot of people can admit that they are trans, or they are too scared to undergo a transition, so they commit suicide. And the percentage of suicides in teen trans is unacceptable. It's way too high. And I feel like if we bring awareness to the community and if society starts viewing us as regular people, trans people will not be as afraid to come out, and the suicide rate, eventually will drop, and that is what needs to happen. Passability. Passing as a transgender person is one of the most concerns of a transgender person. The influences of passing from a society standpoint is really unethical, and it's so depressing, and it's just so discouraging when someone decides to transition and they feel like they can't pass or be viewed as the gender they're supposed to be because the outside society world says you don't fit this criteria. It is so discouraging. Any fellow trans people out there, please do not let negative influences you determine your transition. Please do not. Because it really breaks my heart when a trans person comes to me for advice and they're like, I don't look like my authentic gender because of what someone said, because of how society views me. I can't transition then. Regardless of the stereotype of passability, everyone transitions differently. Be happy you are in the day of age where you can transition. And even though society is still closed-minded, do not let a negative, ugly-hearted person bring you down because you aren't looking or acting up to par of how they feel a trans person should act or look. Okay? I love you. I think you are beautiful, and we can be whoever we want to be. This is America. This is the 21st century. This is the world we live in today, and do not let them interfere with your happiness. Healthcare. Healthcare, I think, should be the biggest issue in the trans community and LGBT community in general. Being transgender specifically and having the right health insurance for you to undergo your transition is very rare, and it's very difficult to obtain, at least here in the United States. For one, you have to go to a specific hormone doctor, which is called an endocrinologist, and not all endocrinologists have experience with transgender people. So they can technically provide you the hormones, but they don't necessarily know what to prescribe and the amount to prescribe for a trans person to smoothly transition and for the hormones to adapt naturally in their body. If you're not one of those lucky trans people who live in a metropolitan area, then finding this doctor can be really, really difficult, and it's a lot of struggle. And there needs to be more awareness of the community, and especially more awareness of the struggle to get healthcare coverage for trans people, so it is easier for us to obtain the certain coverage so we can smoothly undergo our transition. And I feel like if there's more LGBT clinics, or if there's more resources for trans people to get the health coverage they need, there won't be this issue, and there won't be this huge anxiety of trans people thinking that I can't get coverage. How am I supposed to get coverage? When can I start my transition? So really, I think healthcare is a big, big issue, and we need to change our healthcare coverage so trans people can transition a lot more smooth. Hormones. So in my opinion, hormones make any transition a lot easier. It is another step. It is that next step for you as a trans person to feel like you are your authentic self. Right now, I am on no hormones. I am fully on testosterone. This is how I was born. How my hormones are developing in my body is from a natural born male. And I will say, being on estrogen is so much easier. How I look, how I act, and just how I feel every day when I am on hormones is 100% better. And the quality of life is 100% better being on hormones than being off hormones. I will say that. So it is a true struggle when you are a trans person like myself and you can't get the hormones in time, and you can't get the hormones because of health coverage issues. Even if you live in a big city like I do, there's still such a huge issue with the healthcare system and being trans. I can't advocate that. I can't stress that enough. However, there is a lot of side effects of hormones. There's a lot of mood swings. Every person, like I keep saying, will differ from these effects. It is a drastic change. These changes are not what you're used to, but ultimately they will be better in the long run because you will feel like your authentic self. Coming out as transgender, coming out in general, whether you're gay, lesbian, bisexual, whatever you identify as, coming out as transgender is one of the most hardest experiences a trans person has to endure. The self-doubt you have to go through, the what ifs that goes through your mind. Will my friends accept me? Will my family abandon me? How are people going to view me? It is so hard. I can't even describe really in words of how hard and how stressful it is for a trans person to come out. A lot of trans people lose friends and lose family, and it is so unfortunate that trans people can lose someone they think is so close to them, and for those close people just to walk away from them because they come out that they are trans. It happens every day. It is not okay. At the end of the day, we are human. If that is your family, accept your family for who they are. Wouldn't you rather your family be happy instead of miserable and depressed? I mean, can't we all relate to that? Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to feel true to themselves. There is a lot of negative influence in the world, but you will be happier in the end if you come out. Do not get discouraged of coming out, and be your true self, because you deserve to do this. You deserve to be happy. Okay, so I want to wrap this video up. I hope I touched some key topics that y'all were interested in hearing, and for my fellow trans people, I hope I brought in the light of real trans issues that we have to face every day. In essence, life in general is not easy. It's a struggle to live. Life is a struggle, but being transgender just makes it that much harder. So never forget where you come from. Never forget your past. Live life to the fullest and be your authentic self. Be as happy as you can be, because life is too short not to. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video. If you can relate to anything I said, please let me know in the link below. And if there's any key topics that you think I should make a separate video on, like healthcare or hormones or passability, let me know. I will make a specific video on that specific topic. Please share this video. We need to bring more awareness to our community, and share this video if you were inspired by this video, or if you have a fellow trans person or a person you know in the LGBT community who needs a little help or who just wants a little bit of encouragement. Show them this video, because I really just want to help everyone and just kind of bring happiness in everyone's day of life as much as I can. So I hope you enjoy this video and stay tuned for more. T-dubs.